Yes, guys, how you doing? Welcome back to the Spurs Talk Show. I am Sean Butler. How you doing? I hope you are all happy and healthy, doing the things you love. It's not game day, but it's transfer day. Tottenham Hotspur have signed 20-year-old Japanese international Takai Kota, or Kota Takai, depending on how you Kota Takai, I think we're going to call it. 20-year-old Japanese professional footballer, centre-back for Kawasaki Frontale and the Japan national team. He's known for his height, 1 meter 92, or about 6'4" in our money, and his strong defensive capabilities. He's also represented Japan on the 23 level, and was part of the squad that won the AFC Asian Cup. Very good in the air, very strong in the tackle. We're going to talk about him. I've got a Y Scout report to go through with you. And we've got a load of other transfer news, views, and clues tonight, guys. We've got Richalison might be going to Galatasaray. We've got Jarell Hatto. Apparently, his agent is in London, and it falls on the back of the fact that he is potentially on the lips of Tottenham Hotspur's transfer strategy targets. The ITKs are saying, well, let's join some dots and make some things up. And as you know, guys, everybody right now is dropping some absolute beauties on Twitter. That this and that are of strong interest to Thomas Frank, and that he considers him a big part of the first team squad next year. He wants to take a look at him in pre-season. So all of the usual shenanigans are happening on ITK World. We love to see it. Virgil Van Takai says, Adam Levitt, good to see you, mate. Listen, I've taken a quick look at him. Apparently, Ali Gold is saying that he's ready for first team. He's going to compete in the first team. He's a right-footed, right-sided centre-back, but can be considered but two-footed. He's certainly tall. He certainly doesn't look like he's 20 years old, but I think we need to kind of calm ourselves down a little bit here and think, if he's coming in, is he really going to be levels above what we already have? If we're just looking at his physical stature, then can't we do the same thing for Ashley Phillips, who's 6'5", who's faster than Takai and has at least a little bit more experience playing in the English footballing system in the Championship. He did a good job for Stoke last year. So I don't know. I'm all for the young. I'm all for the spray and plays. £5 million, no big deal. Love to see it. I've seen Nick Lazy 8, my man Nick, saying I think he follows Japanese football quite closely. I think he was saying that he's the biggest prospect to come out of Japanese football since Matoma. So we've got some interesting takes to get through. But like I say, we're not here just to talk about him because I don't know much about him. But we have got the Y Scout to look at. And we're going to play with the Y Scout. We're going to finish what we did last night at the second half of the show as we push through into Tuesday morning. Hopefully I'll be done before 12. But do make sure that you smash the like button, guys. Smash the subscribe if you haven't already. Hit the notification bell. Keep the comments coming in. I'm going to be interacting with you throughout the show. I might have a partner in crime on the channel today. I might not. We shall see. If my one option doesn't decide to take up the option, a little bit like Chelsea not taking up the option for a certain Mr. Sancho. As I think at the moment, it's so important that we start to factor in other things that are happening in the world of football. And one of the major benefits of starting the channel with Johnny Football Inc. is that, I've been having to pay attention to all of the various sort of thought experiments, the logical connections and the connotations of what's happening. If X does this, then what does that mean for Y? And what does that mean for us? And how does that all interconnect? And I think one of the stories that I'm sort of working through in my mind right now is that I'm not sure if Saudi Arabia has the same draw it did a couple of years ago. I think we're about to see probably the 10th big name rejection in the world of Saudi Arabian football this summer. There's a lot of players. Bruno Fernandes has turned them down. Osimhen has turned them down. Osimhen tonight, or maybe Napoli are about to take a certain striker over there, which will be really interesting. And if so, that striker, of course, is Darwin Núñez from Liverpool. If that happens, then we have to start playing dominoes, right? Like, what happens next? Is it a game of Kaplunk? If he leaves, if he goes to Napoli, does that mean then that Osimhen has got his next move set up, or that it's guaranteed that he's going to be leaving Napoli? I think we can maybe assume that it is, but where does he go? And if so, what does that mean for other places? Who is it that's looking at Osimhen? Who is the likely candidate? Well, Chelsea probably, for me, were one such team that would make sense. I can't really see Osimhen playing for Arsenal. I can't really see him coming to a team like Tottenham or Liverpool, if I'm entirely honest. And so I could see him going in the Premier League towards two places, like a Chelsea or a Manchester United, or a short outside chance that he might go to a place like Newcastle if Newcastle do get a Ratatata taken for a ride. Or maybe they're taking Liverpool for a ride, but charging 160 million quid for a certain Alex Isak. It's all boiling up, guys. The market is getting tantalizing, and we're only 5-6 days away now. 7 days. Next Monday, in 6.5 days' time, essentially everyone moves into their next financial year. The only team that's already in their new financial year is Liverpool, because they did the 11-month thing last season. So their season finished, or their year finished, at the end of May. Now we know that Aston Villa took the 13th month, so I think that their year doesn't end until August, unless they got the right side of that this year, which I don't think they could have done because of their financial issues. And so how does that affect them? Are they going to be left late at the party? We were talking about this with Johnny, the amount of times we've been using the analogy about like everyone's at the party picking up all the nines, all the smoke show girls, and Tottenham can't even get into the Uber because we haven't got a driver. And the driver, of course, was Ange Postecoglou, or was it Thomas Frank? Well, at least we've done that, and we signed Matisse Tell, and now we signed this guy Kota Takai, whatever. Forgive me if I've got that one wrong. But as I say, we have to start sort of connecting the dots here, and that's what we're going to be doing over the summer on the channel, right? So Football Inc. is where you can find all of the 24-hour news. So make sure you get over there and smash the subscribe. The link is in the description. It's really good fun, just talking about things that don't necessarily connect to Tottenham, but it does give you this kind of wavelengths in your mind around, well, what happens now? And Saudi Arabia, as I say, I probably wouldn't be quite as aware of what's happening there if it wasn't for the fact that I'm doing Football Inc. They are being rejected left and right and centre. And if Tottenham Hotspur fans, you guys in the chat, think of the Premier League, and rightly so, as the sugar daddies of European football, and other teams, including Premier League teams, look at Saudi Arabia as the sort of sugar granddaddies, if you like, that have to have serious money to convince these players to go out there. Well, what happens in a world where these players don't want to go? I think it could have major repercussions for European football, for French football, who are going through their own incredible difficulties financially because of the collapsing media deal, or the collapsed media deal over there. You're seeing all these players. I think you're going to see a barrage of French players, or players from France rather, coming to the Premier League and going elsewhere this summer. You've already seen teams like Rennes and Stade Rennais kind of getting ransacked. But it's a fascinating kind of development with Theo Hernandez, the latest name to probably reject Al Hilal. And Al Hilal are the biggest team in Saudi Arabia. They've got the most money to spend. They drop a significant amount of money. By the way, also, just quietly, I was talking to Johnny about this earlier. There's a little conspiracy theory emerging about why it is and how it is that Saudi Arabia are happy to spend as much money as they are, and for that money to find its way back into Europe. And actually, it's some very, very meticulous giant money laundering scheme where American investors that have got various sort of fingers in various pies, that obviously predominantly own the Premier League clubs right now, will they place their money, some of the ill-gotten gains or whatever, some dodgy criminal network money type things, is placed out in Saudi Arabia. But of course, you can place the money out there, but how do you get it out? Well, you get it out and clean it through illicit but seemingly clean transfer moves for overpriced players coming into Europe. And so if they buy the players with the money that came from the same sources originally, the American companies or whatever else that also have stakes in through things like Clear Lake Capital and yada, 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 then you might have these things where the money can move its way back into the UK shores and back into certain pockets through cleaner mechanisms. It's absolutely fascinating. I'm not sure how true it is, but it's something to kind of think about. You know what, we like to do thought experiments over here, guys. Let's say hello to there's 400 people in the house. It's amazing to see you guys on a Monday night. Thank you very much. Please do smash the like button. Tash the like button. We're going to see who's in. Adam Levitt's in the house. Good to see you, mate. Jin Cherie, Ratata Takai. Oh, there you go. Nice. Very clever. Kota Ratata Takai. Very, very good. You guys are smart. You must have had a couple of beers tonight. Everyone's being super funny on Football Inc. as well. A lot of fun stuff's happening out there, guys. Effing hell. Carl Walker Peters on a free. Kota Takai 5 Milski. We're going to win the league. Thanks, Daniel, you big spender. Hey, come on now. Let's wait and see, shall we? Let's wait and see. Takai reminds me of a Dyer playing style. Thank you, Akash. I haven't taken too much. I haven't got my head around it yet. I'm not going to sit here and pretend like I'm well versed in him. I'm sure other people will do that. It's natural, isn't it? Everyone signs a nobody. They go and do 10 seconds, or not a nobody, and not, that's rude. Everyone signs someone that no one's heard of. They do 3 seconds of like 2-minute clips on YouTube and then form an opinion and then want to go out and make out like they've always known about this guy and he's the next big thing. I didn't hear you talking about him yesterday, but today you're an expert. Not you, but I mean anyone. Hello, Tot Spurs. Good to see you. Adrian's in the house. Good to see you, mate. All right, buddy. PH family. I hope you're always neutral. Evening all. I wonder is Takai even on the Y Scout tool? He is. Look, I'll show you. Find a little report for you guys. Let's have a look. This is the report. Obviously, I mean, we can. I'm not sure. I can't really show you the footage, guys, to be entirely honest. But the report here. I get rid of that. There we go. So this is what he's done. But let's get into the fun stuff, shall we? So in Japanese football, he is number 7 in the list for recoveries per 90, 13.74 recoveries per 90. Really not that bad, right? Counter pressing recoveries. He is number 27 on the list. 5.58 counter pressing recoveries per 90. It's not bad. I don't know what the Japanese standard is, guys. Defensive duels, number 31 in the list. Not top of the pops here. Maybe this is the guy. This guy seems to be the guy we want to be around, isn't it? He seems to be number 1 for a few things. This Igawa defensive duels, 11.5 and a 75% accuracy. Maybe this guy. Let's see who he is, shall we? Let's find out. Is he a kid as well? Maybe he's the player we should be looking at. Yusei Igawa is a Japanese professional footballer. He is 24 years old, plays for Nagasaki. Maybe he's the guy. But anyway, can you see this on the screen, by the way, guys? You can, can't you? Yeah, you can. So you know what? I'll come back to the chat in just a minute. Before I do, there's a member, Totspur63. Good to see you, mate. Thanks for your support, buddy. I appreciate you. Let's carry on looking through these Japanese leagues and see who the monsters are. So in recoveries, it's Igawa, but our boy is 7th. In defensive duels, it's Igawa, but our boy is 31st. In aerial duels, Yanagi from Fagiana. Do me a favor, guys. If any of you guys are sitting there in front of your computer, like, see if you can find a few of these players. See if any of them are like 18, 19 years old and that are valued at decent money. Maybe we can do some of our own scouting just by looking through this Japanese football report here. But the defensive duels, Takai is 31st. He's 51st for aerial duels, which is interesting because he's 6'4", isn't he? He's got a 66% success rate in aerial duels. Very, very impressive. But whoever this bloke is, Yanagi, sounds like my mum. Yanagi girl. It sounds like Bugsy Malone, to be entirely honest. In terms of dribbles per 90, interesting. A centre-back is 60% success rate at taking the ball out. Doesn't do it too often, though. Once every 4 games. This guy, Brunetti, is a baller, apparently. 66th percentile. And he's also very good at offensive duels as well. 4.81 offensive duels per 90. And our boy is 28th in that regard. In terms of passes, he's got a 90%. He's got a 90% accuracy. Makes 50 passes a game. That's pretty good. Average pass length is 20 meters. That's pretty good. That's 20 meters is a medium length pass, not a long, not a short. Progressive runs, 54%. No, average progression in meters. So when he runs with the ball 54 meters. Gee whiz. Is that right? Is that what that's saying? I think that's what it's saying. Progressive passes, 9 per 90, 345. Not bad. This is across all Japanese, not just all centre backs, by the way. This is across all Japanese, the entire Japanese league. So interesting. Here's a little bit more information for us. This is for him specifically. Defensive duels in his own third. The defensive duels are where he's participated, an interception and a sliding. So interceptions are grey squares, which we don't have any. Sliding tackles are these little bad boys here. I don't want to get too stuck in the weeds here, but lost defensive duels in his own third. So these are the duels that he's lost and that have ended up with a shot. Quite a few of them. This is over the whole lot of last season. So he's probably lost like, I don't know, what's that, about 30. A lot of them led to a shot. He's a right-sided centre-back, by the way, guys. I don't know if I showed you that on here. Here we go. This is his heat map. I'll be honest, boys and girls. I'm not going to get too excited about him. Aerial duels in his own third. These are the ones that he's won versus the black ones, the ones that he's lost. That's not ideal, is it? He's lost a lot of aerial duels there in the box. For someone who's 6'4", and dare I be a little bit presumptuous here and say that that's relatively tall for the Japanese footballing world. I don't know. Please don't counsel me if that's... I mean, the other day I was called anti-Semitic for daring to suggest that Australian people have a higher preponderancy to support their guy Ange, and maybe Jewish people have a higher preponderancy to support their guy what the fuck's his name? Manuel Solomon. Madness, the accusations that get thrown around loosely that can ruin a person's reputation. Anyway, recoveries, interceptions. You know what? That's too crazy to look into. This is the sort of shit that the Y Scout can do. I'm not going to spend the entire show looking at this stuff, though, but it goes on and on and on. All this detail here about what he gets up to. But I'll tell you what, just to be entirely clear with you guys, I've had a look-see through it. I'm not that wowed. But I got to see Kota in person. Says, Nicky boy, good to see you, Nick. I was impressed. Yeah, I saw you put in a super chat on another channel, and I sort of read it. I somewhat took it and just run with it a minute ago, mate, and said that you're sort of more familiar with this guy and you think he's really good. I don't know anything about. I'm not saying he isn't. I'm just saying that what I looked at, I just think that there's like a lot of errors in his game, and he looks like he's. Well, I don't think we can assume that. I'd hope to think that he's not going to come in and play second fiddle behind Danzo if we sell Romero. Put it that way. If that's the case, then this ambition is a little bit of a strange one for me. Now, where did I get to in the league? Thank you very much for the super chat, mate. Thank you. Spurs is actually 20. Eze has bid for Tottenham. I've been ignoring everything Tottenham because of the test match, catching up tonight before the final day of the test tomorrow. So what's been happening, Sean? What has been happening, mate? Well, not a huge amount, mate, to be honest. Although if you watch this channel, you'd think that, you know, every day there's gazillions of stories, but that's just my ability to to spin. More talking about test match, I've got more spin than Shane Warne, eh? Not a lot, mate, to be honest, but we have got some other stories to talk about. Tottenham are very much interested in getting the Eze story done. That looks like it's... I'm a little bit worried, if I'm entirely honest, guys. I'm a little bit worried by the story with regards... Eberechi Eze, because I think that I think everyone was presuming that there was some kind of cop block regarding the £68 million release fee. Do you know what? All that's happened now is the world knows that you can get him for 20 million in 3 installments, and consequently, I just don't think that is that's not just going to be a one-way story. I think that he might want to come to Tottenham, but in reality, good evening, Graham. Good to see you, mate. In reality, I think that there's going to be a lot of other teams that might come in now. Someone said it on Football Inc. a minute ago. Are people going to, is Bayern Munich going to come in? Is Elise going to say to his team, if they're trying to find a new player to replace Koeman, for example, right? If Sane does leave and goes in a different direction, then is there going to be a spot over there? I think there is. I think Bayern Munich are definitely looking for new wingers. Then Bayern Munich are looking at Martinelli. If Martinelli does go to Bayern Munich, would Arsenal maybe look at Eze? He was part of their youth team. So I don't think that Tottenham fans should sit and just expect that Daniel Levy is going to get it done. I just don't think it's that simple. And I think, if I'm entirely honest, I think that the new information that it can be done in 3 times £20 million installments, I genuinely think that is probably, slightly more of a concern. I think it just opens the door for more competition to come in. As much as I didn't want to pay £68 million, if anyone could, it was probably going to be Tottenham or one of the other bigger teams that maybe don't need him. But now I don't know. I'm a little bit more worried about it, if I'm entirely honest. Let's find out what the rest of the crew are saying. The snark about these players is getting old. Just let them have their first match before cutting them down, you donuts. Who are you talking about? What are you talking about, mate? He reminds me of Eric Dyer. Based on what? Akash? Based on YouTube? Or do you actually know the guy? I can say, I might say that I'm not that wowed, but like I'm, I just don't, I'm not saying that I don't know anything about the guy. So I've got no idea. I'm not sitting here telling you anything. I'm just seeing what I've said. I took a look at Scout. I took a look at YouTube. I ran the data, and he looks to me like he's got a mistake in him, and he probably isn't quite ready yet. It's a massive jump up, isn't it? But we shall see. We shall see. Evening, Dean. Good to see you, mate. Here he is. Lukey. Evening, Sean and chat. Good to see you, mate. Who? Good evening. More shit we don't need, says Daniel Wooding. Evening, Sean. Evening, Johnny. Haven't heard of Takai until FB Inc. Football Inc. video. Watched a quick clip while waiting. He looks relaxed, pings some nice diagonals, progresses it, headers, long legs, gets around people to win the ball. I just have no idea about the Japanese league, mate, to be honest. So I'm not going to sit here and pretend like I do. Richie out. Great. Do we really think he's going? Come on now. We all know what member of the family Richalison is, don't we? Little brother, little bro, mum and dad are out tonight. They're going out on date night. Any chance you can fuck off for a couple of hours? Go and play with your mate Billy next door. Skateboard park's probably open late. It's summer. I got Sarah coming round. No, my name's Richie and I'm not going. And I'm going to tell mum and dad what you told me. We got replacements for Romero, says Zen. Yeah, we'll fucking find out, won't we? Kota, Berghvall. Ash Phillips might be gone. Well, listen, I don't know, mate. I don't know anything about Ash Phillips either. To be honest, I thought Ash Phillips had a good season at Stoke, but like it's just it's another level, isn't it? Another level. First team football. We have Romero, Danzo, Dragusin, Phillips. How was he getting first team minutes? Don't forget Voskovic as well. But that's what Alistair Gold said. So big up, Sean. Richie to Turkey, hallelujah. Big up, Daddy Boy. Really happy with the Takai signing. He is a great defender. Sweet. G Mingu. Like that. Good evening, Sean, lad. It's 7 centre-backs we have now. Yeah, we've got more wingers than Nando's. More backs than, I don't know, Quasimodo. More backs than Notre Dame. I don't know. Trying to wing it here. I did say that his geographical and cultural differences with Saudi were important. Yeah. Oh, the geographical cultural differences were. So yeah, maybe. Yeah, you did say that, mate. You did say that. Yeah, but still means that money isn't everything. That's the point I was making, mate. The money isn't everything because there are cultural differences that need to be considered. I also think right now, like I don't know, never want to get into politics particularly, but do you want to go to an area of the world that there might be a big boom at some point? Hopefully not. Lord God, please don't let this thing get out of control. But like, it's not that this. I wouldn't want to probably go and if I'm in Qatar tonight. I know it's at the. I know the trouble that's happened is at the military bases, but if I work out in Dubai or Qatar, I'm probably looking for a flight out. If I'm entirely honest, so. I think the connotations and the knock-on effects, the consequences of this might be pretty stark for European football clubs that rely on, robbing Peter to pay Paul a little bit. What are we doing here? Let me shoot forward. Let me jump forward. I'm going to jump down I'm going to catch up with the chat. But welcome everybody. Dan Bowers is saying, is Kota the Asian market replacement for Son? Well, possibly. We've got a preseason tour lined up, haven't we? Because in Japan, right? I think, are we going to Japan? Let's have a look. Tottenham pre-season fixtures. Let's have a look. So we're playing in the Kai Tak Stadium in Hong Kong, playing in Korea, No, we're not. No, we're not playing in Japan. If we were, I'd be saying, "Oh, okay." So we're playing in Hong. We've got Luton at Kenilworth Road. Then we've got Arsenal at the Hong Kong Stadium, the Kai Tak Stadium in Hong Kong. Then we got Newcastle on the 3rd of August in South Korea. And then we got Bayern on the 7th of August in Germany. And then we got UEFA Super Cup on the 13th of August. Wait, what? We're playing on the 13th of August, and then we're playing out. We've got a game on Wednesday, then we've got the first game on Saturday. We've been mugged off here, or what? They couldn't move our game to Sunday because they don't want us to win the Super Cup, do they? Absolute shambles. By the way, Atletico Madrid have been dumped out of the Club World Cup already. It's absolutely insane. South Korea, isn't it? 100% it is. Yeah, 100%. Yang is the new future. 100%, mate. 100% he is. All smoke and mirrors. More backs than the Lions. There you go. Yeah, 100%. That's nice. We need to offload some players for sure, Shawnee. 100% we do. If, for fuck's sake, if Brighton signed him, you would say that's the deal we need to do. No, I wouldn't. I'd be saying the exact same thing as I'm saying now. I don't know anything about him. That's what I'm saying. I'm not saying it's a bad signing. I'm saying I don't know anything about him. Therefore, I don't have an opinion. But you know what, Maisie? You don't mind a little moan, do you, bro? You're always in here having a little moan, a little pop in my videos. Surprised you watch my content, considering how much you like a cheeky little whinge about my takes, even though you don't really pay attention to them. What am I doing here? Let me get my stories back up. Where's my stories at? Get my Twitter back. Hang on, guys. Give me 2 seconds. What are we thinking about Kolo Muani, by the way, guys? Kolo Muani is apparently on the radar of Tottenham Hotspur again. On Spurs Express. Where's my thing? Here we go. So Kota Takai. Let me get this up. Pause. Kota Takai was identified by Spurs technical director Johan Lang and his staff as being able to step into the Premier League, following in the footsteps of other young signings at the club in recent years, such as Lucas Berghvall, Pape Sarr and Destiny Udogie, with the signing also being given the green light by Thomas Frank. Interesting. He had offers from Germany and Italy, but wanted to join Tottenham. Even more interesting. I don't mind it at all. I do not mind it. I just want to know where exactly it fits in, because you got to hope that Tottenham are going to be signing a couple of established 26, 25, 26-year-olds that we know about. Otherwise, we are going down that path. By the way, everybody is going down the path of looking for young players. I said this on yesterday's show. This is not a Tottenham thing. This is an everyone thing. Man City are doing it. Chelsea are doing it. Chelsea have dropped 40 million quid on a player out of Sporting that's not joining them until next year. They dropped 12 million quid, 15 million quid on a guy from Palmeiras that's joining them next year. They dropped 5 million quid, I think it was, on a guy from Kazakhstan that's not joining them until next year. It's not just Tottenham that are doing this. It's everybody. Brighton just signed a 30 million euro player from Olympiacos. He's probably going to come in. Tottenham are also looking at Leone from Parma, that centre-back. We're looking at Coney de Winter, who we'll talk about in a minute. So Tottenham are looking everywhere for these young guys. But where do they all fit into a squad as foreign players, by the way? If they're ready now, we have to make room at some point. I can't stand it when people say we need a bigger squad. It doesn't work like that. You might be able to sign some 17-year-olds and have them floating around in the kids' team or whatever, but are they really ready? Are they necessarily ready? I mean, I don't know. I don't think so. Alex Crook of TalkSport fame is saying that Spurs are now expected to focus their attention on a swoop for Crystal Palace star Eberechi Eze, with Man United accelerating in talks over a deal for Brian in Mbumo. Let me ask you this, guys, right? Where exactly... We have 8 centre-backs now, says Sean Michael. Is that what we do? The 8 centre-backs? Yeah, Takai is a shirt shifter. Yeah. I'd like to know, how many shirts do Brighton sell of Mitoma, though? Not sure. Not sure it's as many as people necessarily think, you know. Let's carry on the show, though. Nothing changes under Levy. Was watching the Atletico match. They don't need Romero. They need a striker. Yeah, that's true. They do. As the Bilbao, for what it's worth, and Bilbao are about to lose their best player in Nico Williams. You know what sucks about Bilbao, right? Or if you were a Bilbao fan, is that Nico Williams comes through their academy, right? He's a part of the Basque region. They have a rule that then they're only allowed to sign players that are Basque, that are like politically aligned to that. So they bring up someone like him, give him all the money that he can eat, all the gold he can eat, because they want to keep hold of their best player, because they can't go to France, they can't go to Japan and bring in these kids because they have to be, they're politically, and yet they still manage to churn out enough players to be able to compete and finish fourth or fifth every season. It's really quite impressive what they do, given the relatively small kind of sample size of geographical talent acquisition or talent access that they can work with. It's similar in like the world of rugby. You think there's only 500,000 people in Wales or in South Wales, and that's what they have. That's what obviously North Wales, most of those guys play rugby league, right? But if you're from South Wales, then the Welsh rugby team not that long ago were the best in the world, and they were competing against the likes of South Africa, who've got, you know, whatever they've got in there, 50, 60 million is it in South Africa, and 60 million English people. It's quite fun. And Australia is obviously a massive rugby playing country as well. It's quite fascinating how kind of teams make do, or squads or countries or whatever make do with whatever their resources to work with. But if they lose Nico Williams to Barcelona or to Bayern Munich, and that's the other thing, right? So Atletico Bilbao don't want to sell him to Nico Williams to Barcelona because they don't want to have to compete against him. It's obviously like a competitive threat, and so they're trying to make the guy go to Bayern Munich. If he goes to Bayern Munich, then I think that means it's a little bit easier for Tottenham maybe to get Eberechi Eze, because I do think Eze might be a target for Bayern Munich if they can't go and get a left winger like Nico Williams. But in so doing, then does Barcelona need to turn in a different direction? And do they then pivot to Marcus Rashford? And if they do that, and Marcus Rashford goes to Barcelona, does that open up the kind of the gates, the lock on the door? Does that unlock Manchester United's ability to spend money and then go after the players that right now could be coming to Tottenham or elsewhere, like a Mbeumo? So there's so many things we need to kind of contemplate and figure out here as we're doing joined up thinking in thought experiments to figure out why it is that we are where we are and what opportunities there are. Sean, how can you defend Daniel Levy still? Billy, you've been around my channel long enough now to know that, first and foremost, I'm balanced. I try to be balanced. Second of all, that I don't defend him. I defend against the argument that he's the worst thing since sliced bread. Nagiza's just won the Europa League trophy. Right? And I'm only saying that he won it because the people that say that he's shit say that he hasn't won a trophy for 20 or one trophy in 17 years. But by your logic, if the buck stops at the top, and it's your logic, not mine, then he should be celebrated and he's doing good things. Now, we can't judge the window until the window's at least closed. We should be waiting at least until probably 6, 7, 8 months, maybe even a year after, before you can reflect and judge the prior window. But I don't defend Daniel Levy. I defend logic. And a lot of the time, the arguments that are put forward about Daniel Levy defy logic. That's why I take the stance that I do on him. But I'm also very happy to criticize him when I think that he's fucked up, and he's fucked up loads of times. And so if you have been watching my channel, which I know you do, Billy, and you should know that, mate. You should know that. No, it's never black or white. No one is as bad as people think they are. And what is it they say? Every villain has a part. Every hero has a past. Every villain has a future. You know, I think that's what Confucius said. Your thoughts on the Club World Cup, Sean? For me, it's just not in the least. I'm just not into it in the least. I think these players need to rest, to be fairly honest. Yeah, I think it's shit, mate. I'll dial in for like the last 16 and going forward, but group stages are just terrible, mate. Absolutely terrible. Nico Williams had a poor season, only 5 goals. Yeah, he was shit, mate. He's shit. He's not shit. He's just he's hot and cold, very much hot and cold. I can tell you, kind of a South American player from us, Richalison. Yeah. Richalison ain't going anywhere, though, is he? I can tell you from bitter experience that all the Brighton club shop does is sell Mitoma shirts. 4-hour queue on the first day of the last season full of Japanese kids. There you go. There you go. That's interesting. So you got the same scenarios we have with Korean, mainly ladies, and I'm for it. I'm here for it. Don't mind those Korean ladies; they're lovely. Well, they rejected a £54 million bid from Saudi last summer. Who did? About Brighton and Matoma. Yeah. South Korean population 52 million, Japan population 125 million. Ka-ching. That's true. That's actually really true. Sean, I'm from South Wales, place called Ystrad Minnoch. Ystrad Minnoch. I went to university in Bristol, mate, and I played rugby down there. And my flatmates were all South Wales. They were from Neath. They were all called Gareth. 2 of them were called Gareth Williams. There was 5 of us. The other 4 were all called Gareth. One of them was 2 of them were Gareth Williams, not related. Just the other one was Gareth Jones, and the other one was Gareth something else. Wild, small place. Everyone knows everybody in South Wales. Oh, you know that you're not related to that Gareth Williams up in Neath, are you? I am actually. That's me. Oh, I know him. I know your cousin. He's played rugby with him. He's a good guy. Good boy. Anyway, Sean, question, mate. If our starting 11 consists of so many wingers and centre backs, will we see horseshoe football? Fucking probably, mate. That's all we seem to do. Reality check. The guy is just worth £5 million, says Morton Barley. Good to see you, Mort. Hope you're okay, mate. Grade A Wagyu costs more than that. 100%. Have you ever had Wagyu beef? I'm not a fan of Wagyu beef. You've only ever known one Gareth, Daniel. Well, get yourself down the southwest, mate. They're bloody everywhere, they are. My parents met at Bristol Uni. Mate, Bristol's a fucking cool place, mate. Such a cool place. My favourite city. Just big enough so that it doesn't get boring, but not too big that you ever get lost or lonely. It's got like 25,000, 30,000 students coming through it every year. It's a cracking place. Absolutely cracking place. Have you run him through Waistcout yet? I have actually, mate. I have run him through Waistcout, yes. Gareth Edwards. I'm going to stop doing that now. I have run him through Waistcout, mate. Like I say, I'm not that blown away by him, but we will reserve judgment. I'm only not that blown away by him because I don't know what the standard of Japanese football is. And so when I was looking at, if you just arrived, I was looking through all of his data right here and seeing, this is the sort of shit you can get up to here, right? You can see all of his progressive passes, you know, where he picks the ball up from, how far they're going. I mean, you can zoom in here and it's very difficult to see, but let's follow this one here, right? So he's pinged the ball. Am I on the same vein? I think that's him still here. He's pinged it. He likes to ping it over here, basically. He likes to ping the ball from the right side to the left or this way. I don't know what the black lines. Oh, and the lines mean progressive runs. Okay. Oh yeah. So when we saw that he was progressing, the run quite long because he takes the ball up. He doesn't mind getting a bit forward, but he's only done it 4 or 5 times. Whereas his passes are just rat-ta-ta-ta. I don't know. I'm not going to sit here and tell you anything more about him, but there's a lot of data to pull through. You can go through everything if you want to. It's just not something that I can be bothered to do right now because I don't think he's going to be a first-team player. And if he is a first-team player, then fair enough. But I'm not convinced. I'm really not convinced. I want to show you. I want to talk about some other stories, guys. Let's go and get my recap on. We got a story out the last hour from the Daily Mirror. That source of truth. Where are we? Let's go and get it up. Here we go. Pause. Eberechi Eze stance on Tottenham transfer revealed. Is it on the screen? Yes, it is. As Spurs confident of deal, Tottenham are aiming to add to their squad ahead of the next season's Champions League return and have put Palace star Eberechi Eze right at the top of their shortlist. Tottenham believe they can finally land Eberechi Eze this summer. Mirror Sport revealed on Sunday that Spurs are looking towards the Crystal Palace stars. They try and strengthen their forward line, and they believe Eze would be keen on the switch with other clubs also interested in the player, who has a £68 million buyout clause. Well, this is a little bit out of date then. Tottenham's new boss, Thomas Frank, has prioritised a wide player in the transfer market, and they've already made a £65 million plus for Brian Mbeumo and have made inquiries for Bomber. Yeah. But England international Eze is a long-term target. Yeah. Newcastle and Aston Villa have also been linked with Eze, while Palace are desperate to keep him after he helped them win the FA Cup and clinch a place in Europe. Can't even spell right. What's going on, people? Do you you work in journalism and you haven't even got a spell check? So bad. It's like a chef leaving his salt and pepper at home. What are we doing here? Frank is desperate to strengthen his wide options with Son Heung Min potentially leaving a mid. You know what? Was there anything more to this story? Here we go. No, it's a nothing story. Waste of my time. Waste of my time, guys. Let's carry on, though. Let's carry on. What are we doing here? Let me get my stories back up. I'm going to come back into the chat in a minute and engage with you people. What's this story that's come out now? This is interesting. From Football London. Tottenham have confirmed the signing. Wait, what's this? Tottenham have confirmed just one signing. Exits are also likely to Spurs to raise funds. Here we go. Spurs need someone with a very specific skill set, but there is a bargain option available that also has Premier League experience in João Palhinha. Bayern are open to letting him go for just 29 million, with the Portugal international thus far enduring a nightmare spell in Germany. I've got to be honest, guys, right? I've got to be honest for a second. I genuinely think, and I'm not someone that wants to ever take credit for anything because I don't know shit, right? I just come out every day and talk to you guys about whatever's in the news and views and clues. I just go on mad ones with you guys with the dog walk or whatever. But I genuinely don't think there was a single person that was talking about Palhinha coming to Tottenham anywhere in the fan base. And then Sava and I were on Sava's channel when we were talking about whether or not we should be signing Matisse Tell. This was about a month ago, 2 months ago, whenever it was. Just after maybe 4 weeks ago. And Sava and I said, well, if we're not if Bayern Munich can't pay us the money and need to let us have a player, why don't we go and get Palhinha? And then ever since then, it seems to be just like the number one player that everyone wants. But I don't remember anyone talking about him 2 months ago. And now it's like a link that's everywhere that Tottenham are going to sign him. I'd fucking love it. I would love it if Tottenham signed Palhinha. I don't necessarily think we need him quite as much in a Thomas Frank system as we did in an Ange system. But just having that geezer around, I think that the indirect benefits, the kind of the byproduct benefits, the collateral add-ons of having him around, experienced. He's now got Champions League experience. He knows what he's doing. He can win the ball back. It would be great to have him in the squad. I still don't necessarily think he's as desirable, but I think that he is. I just think it's going to be interesting. I've run out of, mate, that's going to start to burn my throat. Damn it. Anyway, you're the Premier IT Kate. Certainly not, mate. Certainly not. I don't know shit. Don't know anything. Was Rico Henry in our youth team setup? No. Don't think so. I was talking about a loan for Palhinha, Sean. Drew Sthacott. Drew Sthacott. I don't know how you say your name, mate. Nice to see you, mate. Nice to see you. It's amazing how journalists can just write such nonsense. Tottenham are discussing whether to sign, who's saying that? Thomas Frank at Dave Heithner. I mean, it's got to be done, isn't it? It's got to be done. It really has to be done. You cannot be serious as a not first 11. What? What do you mean? I'm not sure what you're saying. I do wonder whether or not Eze is as essential in assist. Like, just remember, guys, right? Like, if you have him off the left, he's not someone that is a take on guy. He's not going to get to the byline. He's right-footed. He's going to want to cut in, like all 10s do who stay out on the left-hand side. They want to cut in. If you have James Maddison and you have Decky available for fitness, you have 3 10s. 3. Like, he's not going to get to the byline. He's not going to do what Sonny used to do. He's not going to do what Timo Werner tried to do and did badly. He's not going to. Matisse Tell is also someone that wants to cut in. If you're going to do that, then there's a hell of a lot of responsibility on Destiny Udogie or Jed Spence or whoever it's going to be behind him to be the width, because things get very compressed very quickly, especially if you're using the kind of wingers as inside forwards. I just like if you'd sold Maddison, no brainer. If you sold Decky, no brainer. But like, I think that there is an argument that if you get Eze, you still need a left winger that gets to the byline and takes them on. Maybe that's Manor Solomon, right? Maybe that's like put Decky out on the left wing and ask him to use his left foot to go down the line rather than cutting in all the time. It's all very well inverting your wing forwards all the time, making everybody cut in. But after a while, it becomes predictable and it doesn't yield the same results. You need unpredictability. You need people that can go in and out. Ivan Perisic, I've said it 1,000 times. If you're playing bingo with me tonight, then get a shot ready, because I'm going to talk about the cadence of the step overs. That geezer wasn't banging with his pace, but his unpredictability about when that kind of rhythmic, hypnotic step overs, where it was the same pace, the same kind of cadence all the time, when he finally decided to drop his shoulder and go, he could go to the left, he could go to the right, take a step and bang it past people. And he was unpredictable in which way he would go. Sonny, back 3 years ago when he was doing his thing, he became predictable in the fact that he always wanted to step in and kick and shoot. Matisse Tell has that same predictability about him. If Eberechi Eze is going to be our mainstay on the left-hand side and you're playing another 10 like James Maddison on the inside of him, on the one hand, it's going to be interesting to see how fluid they can be and the relationships. But I tell you what, it's going to put a fuck of a lot of responsibility on the left back to get forward and provide the width. And in so doing, if you lose the ball in transition, then you're going to need Micky van der Ven to do exactly the same thing he does now, which puts that same responsibility on his hamstrings. And so you're going to need somebody who's equally and equitable in the talent, because if he does do his hamstring or if he does go down injured, then you once again are going to drop your overall quality because you don't currently have someone that's ready to step in and fill that void. For me, I'm not saying I don't want Eze. I love Eze. I'm more than happy. I think he's a Tottenham player through and through. But to sit there and say that that is the solution to all of our needs at the top end of the pitch is bonkers, because you already have two players that can do essentially largely what he can do. He can play off the left more so than Decky can or than Maddison can. But when all three of them are fit, how do you make them all play together? How do you keep them all happy? I'm not sure. I'm not sure it's as simple as everyone is making it out to be. And I would like to know your thoughts on that. Philip Randall saying, I agree, Sean Eze is ostensibly a number 10. I think he is as well. But I think sometimes 10s just get shipped out to the left to make room into a system. They get shoehorned out there, but they expect to come and drift in. And if that's happening, then are you playing a 4-3-3? And if so, which one of those sort of the double pivot is going to be on the left-hand side that can move forward? Or is it going to be Udogie or Jed Spence? And if so, is Jed Spence good enough for getting to the byline? I'm not sure he is. I think he's a very good left back, a very good fullback generally. But Destiny Udogie is also injury prone. He's also very injury prone. And that to me creates concerns. And that's why I was so happy when I thought I was right tonight. When I spoke this morning about Jarell Hatto coming to town or coming to the Premier League. And then I saw some rumours, I don't know if they're true or not, saying that his agent is in London. And I was saying, well, where would he be going? He's not going to go to Chelsea. So is he in London? Is he in London to talk to Tottenham? Is he in London to talk to Arsenal? How many fullbacks do Arsenal have that play on the left? Tommy Asu can play on the left. I know he's predominantly on the right side, but he can play on the left. Jurriën Timber. Kirior. Ben White's on the right-hand side. Jarell Hatto is a left-sided centre-back and a left-back, so you've got Gabriel that can cover the left side of that. I think that, and then you've got Miles Lewis Skelly. Tierney, as he's gone, right? Tierney's gone to Celtic. So I'm kind of the opinion that Arsenal are pretty set at left-back, and they're pretty good at left-sided centre-back. So I'm hoping that maybe that Tottenham are going to sign him. And if so, excellent. because he's fucking phenomenal. And if I hear any of you lot saying no more kids when 18-year-old Jarell Hatto turns up, I'm coming for you. Coming for you all. We got a new member of the channel. What have we got here? Robert Powell. Appreciate you, Robert. The next fan phoning show is going to be wild, guys. There's like, let me have like 220 members or something at the moment. It's madness. Thank you guys for all your support. Really appreciate it. Please, when we do the next fan phoning show, please be here. Please phone in and come and say hello. But Jarell Hatto, what we saying? Do you think there's a chance that we're going to get him? Because he's absolutely sensational. Who the hell is the new signing? The new signing? Just a Japanese guy, mate, 6'4". The point is, Eze, Maddison, and Kulu are all starters. If they are all magically available for a decent amount of time, we run into problems. 100%. 100%. By Jashwari Sean, you have converted me. Oh, Ardon, give me an Ardon Jashwari. Bruges centre-back. I want you guys to go and check out Adams Organ. Right? Let me see if I can get this. Let me see if I can do this. Have I done it before? I think I have done it before, haven't I? Jashwari. All right. Let's have a look. I'd love to be able to get both of these overlaid at the same time so you could see them. But Arden Jashwari and then Adem Zorgan. They both play in. So share this tab. This is Adam Zorgan, right? And then this is Arden Jashwari. And Arden Jashwari is, they both play in the same league, right? Charleroi just qualified for Europe. So not that big of a difference. Bruges is a bigger team, obviously plays in the Champions League, but Charleroi a smaller team. But look at this, right? So this is the guy that just got rejected. Like, so Milan, he was going to join Milan, but Milan won't pay 40 million euros for him. 90th percentile. I mean, these numbers are insane, right? His numbers are absolutely insane. Look at those green shoots. But then compare that to this geezer. Got more 99s than an ice cream float, mate. It's madness. Total passing distance per 90, 1,400 meters. Progressive passing distance. And by the way, Adam Zorgan is a monster. He's like, let me see how tall he is. He looks like a boxer, mate. He's yeah. Show this tab instead. He's not a small lad. He's a proper footballer. He could absolutely physically handle the Premier League. I don't know. I don't know the Belgium league and stuff, right? But like, he's not like, he's going to go somewhere better. The only question I have is like, why is it that he's 76 on apparently on EA Sports. Swiss Jashari is raw still, says Luca Muff. Fair enough. I like them both. I think they're both quality players. And this guy, Adams Organ, mate, like you're just not going to see stats like this. Like, he's 99th percentile for X versus midfielders for expected assists, key passes into the final third, pass into the penalty area, progressive passes attempted 90 per game, right? 81 in the live ball. Passes from free kicks, 98th percentile. Through balls, 99th percentile. Shot creating actions, 5.21 per game. From live balls, 4.38. He carries on, by the way. Look, possession, touches, 100 touches a game. Touches in the midfield third, 56. Carries, 71 carries per game. It's fucking mental. Absolutely mental. These stats are wild. I don't know. I think that he has to go somewhere better. Mate, I think that if Brighton signed him, I'd be like, fair play, you've got a monster. Let's see what happens. Zorgan is Jan Molby. Yeah. Yeah, Molby was a stat merchant, wasn't he? but mine excellent passer, but my nan has more agility. Who are you talking about, Zakarwe? Zorgan. Oh, you're saying he's not mobile enough? Is that what you're saying? Fair enough. Anyway, let's get back to the transfer news. I'm going to close some of these tabs. I've got hundreds of tabs open. Give me a second, guys. Here, get rid of Y Scout for the now. Oh, look, Fabio Paratici. We're seeing this, guys. Seeing this. Fabio Paratici has a consulting contract with Tottenham that runs until the end of August, meaning that Spurs aren't under any immediate pressure to offer him a full-time role when his ban comes to an end on the 20th of July. How about you just give him the full-time gig, though? Just give him the full-time gig. What are we waiting for? 3rd of July or 20th of July? 20th of July. Just get it done. Give the guy his job back. Anyone see Matisse Tell? My winger, Matisse Tell? I'm coming for you, people. Those people that said, nah, not interested in Matisse Tell, I'm coming for you. He's going to be an absolute baller, ladies and gentlemen. He's going to be absolutely insane. What are we doing here? We have another story for you. Where is it? What's going on with my Spurs news? Here we go. So yeah, let's talk about the fact that Manchester United are apparently moved into a different an alternative story here. They might not be going after Mbeumo any longer. This is from where is it from? According to L'Equipe, that Manchester United might be moving for Christophe Nkunku. That Chelsea and Manchester United are thinking about doing a swap deal for Garnacho going to Chelsea and Chelsea sending Nkunku back. Now, for me, I was saying this on Football Inc. earlier. Again, conspiracy theory, sort of tinfoil hat time. Did Chelsea just have a different relationship with competitors than most other teams do? Like, to me, I'm sitting there thinking, Tottenham don't make it easy, and hopefully no one else makes it easy on Manchester United to move these players on so they can then unlock their own ability to spend. Whereas Chelsea I feel like Chelsea are just thinking, well, if we sell them Nkunku and Garnacho comes to us, then on some level, they're probably valued at a not dissimilar price point. They're both high quality, both of them not happy where they are, both of them can go somewhere else. Kills two birds with one stone. But if they agree that the valuations are actually about here, then they could probably also then decide to sell them to each other up here at this price point. And of course, they can amortize the amount of money that comes in, that goes out over a certain period of time, and the money that's coming in, depending on the kind of amortized value of those players, then they might be able to make some sort of like back scratching situation there work, which allows Chelsea and Manchester United to get themselves out of trouble. I'm not entirely sure, guys, but I just feel like it's one of those scenarios where there's something else going on. It doesn't really make that much sense to me, guys. It really doesn't make that much sense. But would you guys like to see Garnacho come to Tottenham? Would you like to see Nkunku come to Tottenham? Both of those players have been linked to Tottenham. Let me know your thoughts. Man United wants 70 million for Garnacho. Nkunku can't be above 40 million pound these days. Well, Chelsea have got a habit, mate, Jack, of getting their money back. Chelsea have got a really good habit of getting back. What they get? They got 60 million pound, didn't they, for Mason Mount? They got 75 million pound for Kai Havertz. They got money for Lukaku. They always seem to get their money back relatively for the players that end up being flops with them. I don't know why it is. I think that it's just because they signed so many people that they somehow managed to get themselves out of trouble. Plattenberg has just said in Mbeumo deal very much on a new bid of 60 plus. Who for? For Tottenham or for United? Who for? Let's get Plattenberg up. How do you spell Plattenberg? You got Malik Fofana to talk about as well in a minute. Plettenberg, what are we doing here? Plettenberg. The deal is still on for Manchester United and Brian Mbeumo. An improved bid of over £60 million has been submitted by MUFC. Okay. What do you guys think of this Magnus Akiluche? I don't. Let me get this. So I'm going to show you what I'm looking at here. I don't rate this Akiluche guy. Whenever I've looked at him, I think he's clumsy. I'm not saying I think he's terrible, but he's going for a lot of money for this guy. And let me get the screen up for you. Sorry. I'm just not convinced that this guy is all that. But then I've been wrong about loads of players, to be honest. Recently, my track record has been shocking. But Monaco high demands. The 23-year-old winger is considered a dream signing for Leverkusen. Still early stages, difficult to realise. One to watch. Leverkusen, of course, are trying to get Justin Kluivert out of Bournemouth, right? Which, for me, if we fuck up and don't get Eze, and then Tottenham are looking to go and get Semenyo, I've said this a few times, I just think that Bournemouth are going through such an absolute ransacking. I don't care if they can pull together 300 million quid. I genuinely think that most of the time, the three teams that come up are going to go back down. This season, I would imagine that Leeds have got a decent shout. If they can sort of rally behind the club, they've got an owner that wants to spend money. If they can get a few pieces right, then they might be able to sort of survive for one season. And so if that happens, then who is the team that's most likely to go down next year? I've got to be honest. I think that Bournemouth, if they lose three of their back four, even though they're raising massive money from doing it, they sold Hyson. They're going to sell Zabani. They just lost Kirkez as well. If they then go and lose Justin Kluivert to Leverkusen and then Semenyo on top of that, that's 5 of their starting 11 gone, 3 of their back 4 gone. And I'm sorry, but Bournemouth are not going to be, even if they get 300 million quid, Bournemouth are not going to be able to go and convince 50, 60 million pound players to go to them. So they're going to have to go back into the well. And that's fine. They're very good at finding new talent. But I think they're going to end up right back down. I don't think they're going to be 7th, 8th, chomping at the bit to get into Europe next season. I think it's all a little bit they're selling too much too soon. And so my point, had I bring this back to Tottenham, well, if you fuck up and don't get hold of Eze and Mbeumo goes to Manchester United, then I think if we are then trying to turn our attentions to Semenyo, by the time that Bournemouth have already sold Kluivert and the other 4, I don't think that they're going to want 70 million for Bournemouth for Semenyo. I think they'll be asking for like 85 million because they know that the cost of staying in the Premier League is too much, and they won't be able to attract those sorts of players to come back and fill the gap. I think Wolves have gone with Bournemouth. Their recruiting is so good. I'm not saying that they're not. I'm just saying that like you've got five top players, 5 first team players leaving, and you can't. It's not like if Tottenham sold 5 players and got 500 million quid, you could expect Tottenham to be able to go and compete for the near the best level to replace them. It's still difficult to replace 5 players in the same season. To do it when you don't have the draw, you have the money but you don't have the draw. I think you might see Bournemouth like taking a step back next year and then going again with their amazing recruitment, and that money might be put in towards redeveloping the stands, the stadium, whatever else. I just think that I'm not saying they go down, but if anyone's going to have a bid on Bournemouth to qualify for Europe next year, I'm not sure. Bournemouth go and nab your Swiss guy. Yeah, mate, imagine that. Imagine they go and get Arden Jashwari. That would be interesting. Yeah, it would be really interesting. Also, Brentford, I think Frank had them overperforming. Yeah, Brentford could be in trouble as well. They're losing quite a lot. Brentford have lost like 3/4 of their staff. And they've also maybe going to lose Norgard. They've already lost Flecken. They're about to lose Mbeumo. They might lose Visser. Let me ask you guys: would you take Visser at Tottenham if Richie was to go to Galatasaray? I don't see it happening. Top block galore. But if he was to go there, would you guys be okay with Visser coming into Tottenham? So look, Stanley Kush says. Stanley Kush is saying no. 1 second, guys. I'll take price. We said the price is right, not as a lone striker. Yeah, but don't we for the right price? Yeah, but better than what we have. No, you wouldn't. Yeah, it's interesting. Split defense on that one. Defense splitting question. They have a draw as a stepping stone, says Biscuit Chicken. Biscuit Chicken. Interesting. Right, I've got to get my other stories up because there's a few stories out that I don't know what I've done with them. I lost all my notes before the show. It's really annoying me. Where do I find them? Let me see if I can find them again. Just give me a second here, guys. I'm a little bit kind of a bit like spacey today in the head. But that's not it. Sorry, fellas. Give me 2 secs. Oh yeah, let's talk about Dennis Serkin for a minute. What are we saying, guys? Dennis Serkin or Kyle Walker-Peters? If we're going to get one of those two, does that also kill the story about Jarell Hatto? Because I'd like Jarell Hatto to come in, but I don't particularly see it happening. West Coast Spurs, Tony, big up Wissa. Only if the second guy to Mbumo Semenya as a Kudos. Mohamed Kudos, yeah, we'll get him. I'd rather have Dennis Serkin, I think, Ian, as well, mate. I'm with you. Don't you bring that geezer back. You have a crack at my takes, Maisie. You have a crack at me, bro. I'm coming for you over that one. Don't you dare bring back Harry Winks. He's yesterday's news. Arnal Calamuendo, Akash. Yeah, I don't think he's going to come to Tottenham. Not sure. I don't mind him, but again, it's kind of like, what are we doing here? Can't we just have at least someone that we've heard of? You know? No one knew about Calamuendo 2 weeks ago. Now everyone's an expert on him. Not saying you, but everyone like loads of people are like, oh, yeah, he's the new Jermaine Defoe. Is he? Oh, let's get this guy Malik Fofana up. Malik Fofana plays for Lyon, right? So interesting news today. So Crystal Palace have finally got themselves into Europe, right? Because John Textor, who I've spoken about many times, because he's part of the multi-club ownership that owns Botafogo, who I did a video about on Sean Butler TV last year. I learned a lot about this guy, right? He's done really interesting things in Brazilian football. He obviously owns a part owner of Crystal Palace, and he owns a Belgian team whose name escapes me right now, and he owns Lyon. Because of their problems with multi-club ownership and the two teams playing in Europe, he had to sell. So he sold out to the New York Jets guy, Woody Johnson. A bit of a dick, apparently. So he got 3.4 billion. Like a big businessman, New York Jets owner. Like it's a big deal for Crystal Palace. Crystal Palace at the same time have just signed up that guy Walter Benitez, the PSV Eindhoven goalkeeper, decent big lump of a keeper. Will do really well for them, I think, as a backup towards Dean Henderson. But Palace now can get into Europe, and obviously that makes them a little bit more stable. They might be able to do a thing or two about a thing or two. But Lyon, obviously, John Textor needed to sell his stake not only to get Crystal Palace in, but also to give the money to Lyon, because Lyon are in a lot of trouble with their finances because of the collapsing media rights deal in French football in Ligue 1. And they got this player called Malik Fofana who's going to be leaving. He's worth 30 million euros. But this guy is fucking tiny. He is tiny than that Podence guy who played for Wolves. So I remember watching Tottenham versus Wolves a couple of years ago, and Podence was on the pitch, and this guy is so small, like so small. He's 1 meter 70. What is 1 meter 70 in feet? So he's 5'5". Malik Fofana is 5'3.5", 5'4" at a push. This guy is fucking tiny, but he's a really tricky player. Plays off the left, plays off the right, and he's a very, very, very useful addition. And Tottenham apparently are interested in Malik Fofana, as are a lot of other players as well. I'm not sure if it's going. Tariq Lamptey, he's smaller than Tariq Lamptey, mate. He's smaller than him, bro. Smaller than him. Ratatata, Sam. Good to see you, mate. How are you, buddy? Hulk, smash the likes, people. I haven't even checked the likes. I haven't even asked for the likes. To be honest, guys, I'm feeling a little bit kind of like airheady today. I don't know what's going on, but I feel a little bit off kilter. So I'm probably going to round off in a little while. If you don't mind, I'll be back tomorrow morning. I'm just feeling a little bit dizzy. I'm not sure what's going on with my headspace, but I'm feeling a little bit odd. So sorry if this was a bit of a sketchy show, but yeah, I'm not really feeling great. So I'm going to round it off now, actually, before I collapse. But I love you all. Thank you very much for hanging around with me. Sorry I can't do the Y Scout today, guys. I'll do it tomorrow. I'm feeling it very, really weird all of a sudden. So I love you all, but I will see you tomorrow. Like, subscribe, and comment. And as always, apologies, guys. Apologies. Love you. Bye-bye.